Moving on now to the world of Raiders sports, where the football, soccer, and field hockey teams were all in action. Here's your Raiders report. After falling in their home opener to Mount Pleasant High School out of Rhode Island, the Raiders football team looked to bounce back last Friday night, September 22nd, under the lights of Victory Field, hosting Southeastern Tech. Now, before the game, WCN anchor and play-by-play man Jim Vershbow caught up with Raiders head coach John Kakachi to get a sense of how he thinks his team has performed so far this season.
All right, 5 good minutes with head coach John Kakachi prior to tonight's non-league battle versus Southeastern Vocational Tech. Coach, 2 games, 2 non-league games, 1-1. What do you like about your team? What do you want to see improve?
I was going to say the things I like are improvement. As we said in the preseason, it's a very inexperienced group. Only had a couple guys really starting varsity caliber guys from last year returning. So you just got to work through those growing pains, learn how to play for 48 minutes. Learn how to compete in tough games. I mean, we had a 14-12 lead in last week's game, and then things kind of unraveled a little bit for us. So, it's just one step forward and continue to get better and progress.
So, third non-league game before the league games start next week. Southeastern Vocational Tech, what can you tell us about them?
I haven't seen them live. Seen them on film, and they look tough. They're a team that competes. Big, sturdy kids. They come off the ball. They're physical. That was the one thing that kind of jumped off the film, Matt, is this is going to be a very physical contest.
The Raiders hosting Southeastern Tech at Victory Field. Watertown looking to bounce back after a loss. Fast forward to the second quarter, Southeastern Tech in their road whites. They managed to burst into the end zone after driving deep into Raiders territory. Later in the second quarter, the throw just beats the outstretched glove of the Raiders defender as Southeastern Tech makes a big pass play to get into the end zone, up 12-0 at that point. And then Owen Newland, Raiders quarterback, throws an ill-advised interception that is returned all the way to the house. This is all in the first half for Southeastern Tech. Watertown unable to bounce back in the second half, eventually losing 33-0. They'll be back at home once again Friday night against Wilmington. And now we head a town over for some soccer. Watertown and Belmont competing in the 8th annual Soccer Night in Belmont event, gathering varsity teams and youth teams from across the city for one big celebration of soccer. Second year in a row, Watertown has traveled over to Belmont to participate in this great event, last year winning in a shootout for the boys team, but this time around, Marauders in their maroon score first to get some payback. Watertown falling down 2-0 now late in the first half before eventually getting on the board right before the second half. Fast forward now to the second half, Marauders back on the offensive, putting up a third goal, and that would be your final. Marauders get some revenge from last year's defeat, 3-1 over the Raiders. Now the girls team, they lost last year. They're looking to get back into the winning column in this event. Fast forward to the second half after a scoreless first, Marauders on the corner, and they come through. First goal of the game on the board with 32 minutes left in the second half. Watertown trying to get on the board, but here comes Belmont once again on the offensive. Little touch pass there out in front of the net, gets nudged by the Watertown goalie. 2-0 shutout would be your final. Raiders girls team also hoisting that cup. So both of Watertown's teams come up short in Belmont. And we finish off our Raiders report this evening with the unstoppable juggernaut that is the Raiders field hockey team. They defeated Stoneham 7-0 earlier this week to advance to 7-0 on the season. The Raiders have won all 7 of their games by 7 goals, so a little bit of a pattern here you'll see. Molly Driscoll and Rachel Egan each tallying a hat trick in this game, and an additional goal contributed by Caroline Andrade. Regan Driscoll adding 3 assists for Watertown as well. The Raiders will be back at home on Thursday, September 28th against Wakefield Memorial, looking to make it an 8th spot this season.